Is Everton cursed? I mean, seriously, is this club cursed?
Whoa, right out the gate with that one.
Well, look, we're going deep on this one.
Hmm.
Their finances, managers, their entire identity. It's all a bit of a mess.
It's certainly a fascinating case study. How can a club with so much history fall so far?
That's what we're going to figure out. Our listeners sent in a ton of research, by the way. Thanks to everyone for that.
Yeah, great stuff.
But honestly, some of it is just grim.
Yeah.
Get ready for some truly shocking transfer flops,
Oh, yeah,
managerial dramas,
for sure.
and missed opportunities galore.
All that and more.
So let's just start with the money situation.
Oh,
Or, well, the lack of money.
okay.
Everton's spending, especially on transfers, it's just been, well, abysmal.
Yeah.
I mean, think about Davy Klaassen.
Okay. Yeah.
23.6 million pounds they spent. That's a lot of money.
It is.
Barely played.
Right.
Gylfi Sigurdsson.
Hmm.
Club record, 45 million pounds.
Wow.
13 goals. In 4 seasons. Moise Keane. Big money signing. Loaned out, didn't adapt. I mean, what's going on?
It's a pattern. And these weren't just bad signings in isolation. It's like they created this ripple effect throughout the squad.
That's exactly right.
Hmm?
This scattergun approach to transfers, it's like they built a Frankenstein squad.
Right.
No midfield creativity whatsoever.
Yeah.
No consistent goal scorer. It's like they forgot the basics of football.
Yeah, it's wild.
And meanwhile, you have these clubs like Brighton and Brentford doing wonders with much tighter budgets.
Totally.
They're strategic about it. It's not just splashing cash around. And it shows on the pitch.
Absolutely.
But Everton,
Yeah.
they've got financial fair play breathing down their necks because of this reckless spending. So they're stuck, right?
Yep.
Bad signings lead to poor performance. That leads to a limited budget,
Mm-hmm.
and therefore they have no way to actually attract top talent.
It's a vicious cycle.
Vicious is right.
Uh-huh.
And then there's the manager situation.
Oh, boy.
The revolving door of managers at Goodison Park.
Yeah.
I mean, it's enough to make anyone's head spin.
So it really is.
Ronald Koeman,
Okay.
Sam Allardyce,
Yep.
Marco Silva,
Uh-huh.
Carlo Ancelotti,
Okay.
Rafa Benitez.
Yeah.
I mean, each one with their own philosophy, their own tactics, inevitable squad overhauls every time. Just how can any team develop a consistent style of play with this much upheaval, let alone trying to develop young players from their academy, which was once, so famous?
Right.
Aston Villa, Leeds, they're integrating their academy grads seamlessly because they have consistent management. And that gives those young players clear pathways.
It's like Everton just completely forgot the basics of team building.
It really is.
Mm-mm.
I mean, the lack of long-term vision has just permeated every level of the club.
I think that's a great way to put it.
And speaking of vision, we have to talk about the David Moyes era.
Okay. Yeah.
11 years, respectable finishes, and all with really limited resources.
He really did squeeze every ounce of potential out of that squad.
He did. They weren't challenging for titles or anything, but there was stability, there was a clear identity, and they had this sense of punching above their weight.
They had grit. They had determination. That seems to have just completely vanished.
That's what's so frustrating,
Yeah.
because the post-Moyes era has been this constant chase for that same consistency,
Yeah.
but it always feels just out of reach.
Right.
Every step forward is immediately followed by 2 steps back.
Yeah.
It's like they're trying to force Moyes' success instead of letting it happen organically.
They've lost that organic growth, that's for sure.
And the results, well, they speak for themselves. They really do.
Yep.
And then there's the players who got away.
Okay.
Romelu Lukaku.
Yep.
Gerard Deulofeu.
Uh-huh.
Ross Barkley. I mean, these guys all found success after they left Everton.
Yeah, it makes you think.
What could have been if they had stayed?
Right.
What if Everton had given them the stability and the management that they needed to thrive?
It's a tough one to swallow.
It's a painful reminder that talent is not enough. You need the right structure. You need the right guidance. You need the right environment to cultivate that talent.
Couldn't agree more. I mean, they haven't just lost players, they've lost opportunities to build a winning culture.
Okay, so we've got financial mismanagement, a managerial merry-go-round, a talent drain.
Mm-hmm.
But there's another layer to all this.
Right. I think so.
Psychological impact. I mean, all this failure, that can't be easy. Imagine the pressure of playing at Goodison Park.
Oh, yeah.
All that history, all those expectations.
It's a lot to carry.
It's a lot to carry. And, that's a crucial aspect that we often just completely overlook. I mean, think about the mental toll of just constant disappointment, the scrutiny from fans and media.
It can be absolutely suffocating.
It is. It's suffocating. And the media. They love to call Everton A sleeping giant. It's almost like they're taunting them with their own unfulfilled potential.
Right.
And the fans, and their passion is just undeniable.
It is.
But it can turn into this real frustration.
Of course.
And that negativity, it seeps onto the pitch.
It's a self-perpetuating cycle of pressure and underachievement.
It is. And then, let's not forget about the new stadium, Bramley Moore Dock.
Yeah.
Beautiful, modern facility. But it almost feels like a distraction, like a shiny new toy to cover up all these deeper problems.
It does a bit.
It does. Will a new stadium magically fix the issues on the pitch? I doubt it.
I mean, it's a gamble, right?
It is a gamble,
Yeah.
and potentially a very costly one, because the financial burden of building this stadium could limit their ability to spend on transfers.
Right.
And
Yeah.
we've already seen how that's worked out for them.
Yeah. Not great.
Not great. So they could end up just repeating this whole cycle of mediocrity, except in a much fancier setting.
The stadium really does represent both hope and risk. It's a microcosm of their entire dilemma right now.
It really is.
It is a bleak picture, but I don't think it's completely hopeless for Everton.
Okay, so not completely hopeless.
No. I mean, they need a massive shift in mindset.
Yeah.
They have to move away from these quick fixes they keep trying to implement and move towards a sustainable, long-term vision.
That sounds great, in theory.
Yeah.
But the Premier League is just ruthless.
It is.
It's all about the next result, the next win.
Yeah.
How do you convince a club in that environment to slow down and actually build something from the ground up?
It starts with leadership.
Okay.
Both on the pitch and in the boardroom, they need a manager
Yeah.
who's not just tactically brilliant,
Right.
but who can instill a winning mentality,
Well.
someone the board will actually back, not just financially,
Uh-huh.
but with patience and a shared vision.
Yeah.
You can't keep sacking managers every time the wind changes direction.
It's like stop chasing the next big name, the next quick fix, and actually commit to a plan.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds almost too simple, but I guess that's the point.
It's about creating a culture of excellence.
Okay.
Where every single decision from transfers to training is geared towards long-term success.
Yeah.
They need to stop trying to be Manchester City overnight
Right.
and start building a sustainable structure.
So basically, they need to become a smart club, not just a rich club.
Exactly.
Because there are examples of that in the Premier League right now.
Yeah.
I mean, we've talked about Brighton and Brentford.
Yeah.
But even Leicester City. I mean, they won the Premier League against all odds.
Amazing story.
It is. Because they had a plan, they recruited smartly, and they played with incredible unity and belief.
Leicester's story really is a testament to the power of a cohesive vision
Yes.
and a team spirit that goes beyond just having individual talent.
It's like Everton has just completely forgotten how to win.
Yeah.
They're so focused on what they haven't achieved that they've lost that hunger, that fighting spirit. They need to rediscover it.
I agree.
And not just on the pitch. I mean, this has to be throughout the club.
Yeah.
The fans, the media, everyone needs to buy in again.
Yeah.
Everyone needs to believe again.
I think that belief can't just be blind faith, though.
Okay.
It has to be rooted in something tangible.
Yeah.
A strategy that's evident in everything the club does,
Okay.
from the academy to the first team. And that means being smarter with those transfers,
Right.
identifying needs, scouting effectively,
Yeah.
and bringing in players who fit the system.
Not just a flashy name.
Exactly, not just the big price tag.
And nurturing the talent that you already have.
Of course.
I mean, they used to be a breeding ground for top-class players.
Right.
That pipeline has dried up.
It really has.
They need to invest in that academy.
Yeah.
Create that clear pathway for those young players to break into the first team. I mean, this is a huge undertaking.
It is. Rebuilding doesn't happen overnight.
No.
It takes time, commitment, and a collective effort from everyone involved.
Everyone.
And that includes the owners.
The owners, yeah.
They've thrown money at the problem,
They have.
but it hasn't been spent wisely.
It's not just how much you spend, it's how you spend it.
Exactly.
They need to be smarter, they need to be more efficient, and they need to stop with these knee-jerk reactions every time things go wrong.
That constant churn of managers and players just creates chaos.
Yeah.
You can't build any kind of momentum in that environment.
No. It's like they're just terrified of committing to something.
Right.
Of taking a risk and sticking with it even when things get tough.
Yeah.
They need to be bold, they need to be decisive, and they need to understand that this is a marathon, not a sprint.
They need a manager who shares that long-term vision.
Right.
Someone who sees Everton not just as a paycheck,
Right.
but as a chance to build something truly special. Someone who understands the club's DNA.
Someone who respects that history but isn't afraid to shake things up a bit.
Yeah. because clinging to the past won't get you anywhere.
It won't. They need to evolve, they need to adapt,
Yeah.
and they need to find a way to thrive in this league.
Because the Premier League is relentless.
It
It
is.
waits for no one, and for Everton, the clock is ticking.
Okay, so we've outlined the problems.
Yeah.
We've talked about some potential solutions,
Yeah.
but let's get specific, okay? Can you give me a real-world example of a club that Everton could actually learn from?
Look at Brentford.
Brentford, okay.
Consistently overachieving.
They are?
Despite having one of the smallest budgets in the league,
It's true.
their secret is they have this laser-focused recruitment strategy,
Oh, yeah.
using data and analytics to find these undervalued players
Yeah.
who fit their system perfectly.
So they're not just looking at the big names.
No, they're not afraid to look beyond the usual suspects,
Yeah.
and they're incredibly patient in their approach.
So it's not about buying the biggest names. It's about finding the right players at the right price,
Yes, and developing the talent you already have.
like we talked about with the academy.
Exactly, and they have a manager, Thomas Frank,
Right.
who's been there for years. He's built a really strong, cohesive team culture.
Stability and consistency. Two things that Everton desperately lacks.
Exactly.
So stop trying to be this big club and start acting like a smart club. Is that what you're saying?
That's the takeaway here. They need more strategy, more discipline,
Yeah.
and a lot more patience.
Yeah.
They need to stop panicking and start trusting the process.
Trust the process.
Have faith that if they do the right things, the results will eventually come.
But it's not just on the club, is it?
No, it's not. The fans have a massive role to play.
The fans. The Goodison Park faithful.
I mean, they're known for their passionate support,
They are?
but that passion can turn toxic.
Right.
That doesn't help anyone.
No, it does you.
They need to cultivate a more positive and encouraging atmosphere
Okay.
at the stadium and online.
What?
They need to be that 12th man pushing the team forward, not adding to the pressure.
But that support that has to be earned.
Of course it does. It's a two-way street.
It is.
The club needs to show the fans that they're moving in the right direction,
Right.
that there's a plan, that they're committed to success.
It's a partnership.
It is.
One that's been strained in recent years,
For sure.
but one that can absolutely be rebuilt if both sides put in the effort.
Absolutely.
We've talked about the finances, the managers, even that new stadium.
Yeah.
But there's this big elephant in the room
What's that?
that we haven't fully addressed.
Okay.
The mental and emotional impact of Everton's long decline.
Right.
It's not just about formations and tactics.
No.
It's about the psychology of losing,
Yeah.
of constantly falling short.
It's a fascinating and often overlooked aspect of football.
It is.
That pressure, that negativity, the weight of history, it can crush even the most talented players.
It can, and we're going to delve into that
Yeah.
right after this break.
It's like they have this invisible weight on their shoulders.
Yeah.
This fear of success.
Right.
Every time they get close to breaking through, something holds them back.
It really does feel that way.
It's a self-fulfilling prophecy at this point.
They always seem to find a way to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. I mean,
It's incredible.
and that negativity spreads like wildfire.
Oh, yeah.
From the players to the manager to the fans.
It's everywhere.
It just creates this toxic atmosphere where it's almost impossible to thrive.
I mean, imagine being a new signing.
Okay.
You come in, you're excited, you want to make your mark,
Right.
but you're instantly hit with all the baggage of Everton's history.
Oh.
And if you don't perform miracles from day one,
Yeah.
the pressure mounts, the doubt sets in.
And it's hard to escape.
It's incredibly difficult to escape that downward spiral.
It's like they're playing with the handbrake on.
Yes.
So afraid to make a mistake.
Yeah.
So desperate to avoid letting everyone down that they
Right.
end up playing tentatively scared to even try.
And the media doesn't help.
Oh, the media loves to pile on.
Every loss, every setback is just scrutinized and amplified.
Yeah.
It creates this sense of impending doom that's really hard to shake off.
And then you have the fans with all their passion and loyalty.
Right.
They sometimes contribute to that negativity.
Of course.
Their frustration is understandable,
It is.
but it spills over into the stands.
Yeah.
It creates this palpable anxiety that just feeds back onto the pitch.
It's a vicious cycle. The team underperforms, the fans get frustrated, the media piles on, and then the players start to doubt themselves.
So how do you even begin to break that cycle?
It's a tough one.
How do you change the mindset of an entire club? I mean, it feels impossible.
It starts with leadership.
Okay.
They need a manager who's not just a tactician, but a leader.
Right.
Someone with the mental strength and the charisma to inspire belief.
Right.
Someone who leads by example, who can rally the players,
Yeah.
instill that confidence, that conviction.
Someone who genuinely believes in them
Yes,
and can make them believe in themselves again.
that's it.
But it goes beyond the pitch, doesn't it?
It does. It has to extend to the boardroom.
The boardroom.
The owners, the directors, they need to be united in their vision for the club.
Yeah.
And just unwavering in their commitment, even when things get tough.
Stability, consistency.
That's what they need. They can't keep panicking and making these impulsive decisions every time they hit a rough patch.
So trust the process.
Trust the process. Have faith in the plan, even when it's hard.
But be open with the fans.
Yes.
Explain the vision, the goals, even the challenges.
Transparency builds trust.
And trust builds unity.
Exactly. It's about creating this sense of shared purpose,
Okay.
of collective responsibility.
Yeah.
If they can do that, maybe, just maybe, they can lift that weight,
Right.
break that cycle of negativity and fear, and rediscover what it means to be Everton.
Remember their history? Embrace the challenge fight for every inch on that pitch.
They have the potential. They have the history. They have the fan base.
They just need to find a way to believe again.
Wake up that sleeping giant.
It's a long road ahead,
It is.
but it's a journey worth taking.
It is.
And for the sake of Evertonians everywhere, let's hope they find their way.
I hope so too.
This has been a deep dive into Everton's long and painful slide. It's complex, it's messy, and at times it's heartbreaking. But as we've explored the financial missteps, the managerial merry-go-round, the missed opportunities, and the psychological toll, one question remains: can Everton rise from the ashes? Can they learn from their mistakes and find their way back to greatness, or are they destined to remain lost in this wilderness of mid-table mediocrity? Like time will tell. But one thing is for sure, their story, however it unfolds, is a reminder that even in football, hope is never truly extinguished.